Hey there, and welcome to this trip report. Right now, I'm in downtown Montreal at the Lionel metro station, boarding the 747 STM Express bus to Montreal's Pierre Elliott Trudeau International Airport. The ride to the airport is about 20 minutes with no traffic, but can often be longer during rush hour. The ticket cost is 10 Canadian dollars, as you have to buy a day pass for the network when riding this particular bus route. Arriving at Trudeau Airport at 5 p.m, I'm making my way up to the domestic departures area for my flight with Air Canada today. This trip will actually be 2 legs, from Montreal to Ottawa and then on to Toronto. This video will cover only the first leg, onboard Air Canada Express from Montreal to Ottawa. The main check-in counters for Air Canada domestic and international flights are counters 1 through 114, with the areas filled with self-serve check-in kiosks and automated baggage drop systems. However, I won't be needing to stop here today, as I checked in online last night and I'm not checking any luggage on today's trip, so I'll be heading straight to the security checkpoint for the A gates. At security screening today, there was essentially no line to enter, but the processing time from entry to exit was quite long, taking about 20 minutes in total. Rolling out of security and taking a quick look at the departures board, my flight to Ottawa, Air Canada Flight 8013, is set to depart from Gate 34. This gate is on the detached part of the terminal known as the Aeroquai and is accessible via underground tunnel. It's 5:20 p.m. and I've got about 50 minutes before my flight is due to start boarding. Scheduled departure time is 6:40 p.m. with boarding due to commence 30 minutes earlier at 6:10 p.m. The Aeroquai is an entirely separate terminal building housing gates A17 through A34, which are used for domestic flights only. This tunnel usually has moving walkways in each direction to make the journey a little easier, but they don't seem to be operating today. The walk is only about 3 to 4 minutes though, so it's not too bad. Returning to ground level, this terminal building is one long hallway with my gate located to the right. There's an Air Canada customer service counter in this area, along with a couple restaurants and grab-and-go style places, but most seem to be closed today. Arriving at Gate 34 towards the end of the terminal, it's pretty quiet, with a couple people sprawled out sleeping, but not many seats filled. This gate area is pretty old and reminds me of the cramped US departures gates at Toronto Pearson Airport for the small regional flights. The ceilings are low, and it's fairly dark and dingy. There are a couple charging stations located among the gate seats, but very few. Some of the gates on the north side of the terminal have jet bridges, while the ones on the south side don't, and passengers have to walk out to the aircraft on the tarmac. Taking a look at the aircraft flying me up to Ottawa this evening, I'll be on board this 10-year-old Bombardier Q400 propeller aircraft, which was delivered to Jazz Aviation in June 2011. It's 6:22 p.m. now, and boarding is underway about 10 minutes behind schedule. Boarding of the aircraft is completed by zone, with Zone 1 boarding now. I'll be boarding in Zone 4, which is the second of the regular boarding groups, after Zones 1 and 2 for priority passengers. Up until about 5 minutes ago, the gate area was deserted with no Air Canada staff in sight, and I was starting to question whether we'd be going anywhere this evening. After having my boarding pass scanned and showing my ID, I'm stepping out onto the tarmac as I make my way over to the aircraft. As you can see, this aircraft has been repainted in the new Air Canada paint colors, and it looks really good. I'm seated in 4A for today's flight, which is the window seat in row 4 on the left side of the aircraft. I get a great view from this seat looking out in front of the left propeller and wing. Looking at the seat a bit more, they're very basic with a leather surface and appear quite worn. There is no movable headrest, nor are there any entertainment screens. Each seat has a tray table which folds down from the seat back in front and is mounted on rails such that it can slide outwards towards you. In terms of legroom in the seat, it's decent, but the seats are quite narrow, particularly the window seats because of the way the cabin wall curves inwards near the floor. This also makes it more difficult to store items under the seat in front, but my backpack was able to fit okay. The overhead bins are also quite small, though my rollerboard bag fit and I didn't have to gate check it, which surprised me and was a definite win today. Every seat also has a small coat hook on the side of the seat back in front, which I honestly don't see myself ever using, but it's a nice touch. Lower down on the seat back in front below the tray table, there's a small pouch for storing the provided reading materials and any other personal items. Here we find the safety information card for the Bombardier Q400 along with an air sickness bag. The usual in-flight magazine is no longer provided. The cabin crew handed out Clean Care Plus kits to all passengers while boarding was still underway. These kits are given to passengers on all Air Canada flights as part of the airline's commitment to passenger safety during the pandemic. The kits contain a small bottle of hand sanitizer, disinfecting hand wipes, and a multi-layer disposable face mask. Face masks are required at all times on board any aircraft in Canada and also in the airport, except when eating or drinking. The crew has made several announcements so far reminding passengers of this policy.
Face covering your nose, mouth, and chin. We do appreciate your compliance with this measure and follow any instruction provided by our cabin crew. Thank you.
It's 6:52 p.m. now, and our 6:40 p.m. departure time has come and gone. There are some connecting passengers from other flights who appear to be delayed in customs, so the ground crews are in the process of removing their bags as they won't be making this flight.
So once that's all done, we'll get buttoned up and we'll be on our way. Thanks again for your patience.
Another 25 minutes later, and we're still sitting here at the gate. The cabin door is now closed, and we're finally getting ready to push back. It appears quite a few passengers didn't make the flight as there's a lot of empty seats and it was supposed to be a full flight. I also managed to score an empty seat next to me, so I'm pretty happy about that. These Q400 aircraft have 74 economy class seats in a 2x2 seating configuration with no business class or premium type cabin.
Quick flight over to Ottawa. As your safety is our top priority, we ask that you take a moment to watch the following safety demonstration outlining the procedures for this aircraft. At this time, headsets connected to a portable electronic device that must be removed. Thank you. Your safety is our top priority. Please take a moment.
The safety demonstration is now underway while we still sit here at the gate.
For this aircraft. At this time, headsets connected to a portable electronic device must be removed.
La carte illustrée placée dans la pochette ou le porte-revue près de vous explique.
"40 minutes behind schedule, we're pushing back now." From here you can also see the other Air Canada Express aircraft parked at the Iroquois terminal. Other common flights from this building go to Moncton, Fredericton, Bagotville, and other short-haul destinations in eastern Canada. We'll be departing from runway 24 left this evening out to the west side of the airport. The one benefit of being delayed is that we're getting some gorgeous sunset views, though I'm still not sure that justifies it completely, especially considering the length of the delay is longer than the actual flight itself. Exploring the seat area a bit more, on the overhead panel above the seat are personal reading lights and adjustable personal air conditioning vents. The button to control the reading light is on the panel next to the light itself. The windows on this aircraft are decently sized, given how small the plane is, and they have pull-down style window shades for blocking out light. Shortly after takeoff, the cabin crew came through with a snack and beverage service. The drink options on this flight were water, orange juice, or apple juice, and the snack was a packet of pretzels. On this short flight, the actual air time is only 21 minutes, with the total gate-to-gate time at 40 minutes. The distance covered is only 152 kilometers at a fairly low cruising altitude of 12,000 feet. Given how short the flight is, I was stunned to see any service offering at all. It's been 14 minutes since we lifted off from runway 24 left at Montreal's Trudeau Airport, and the crew are well into cabin preparation for landing. After touching down on runway 25 at Ottawa's Macdonald Cartier International Airport, we're now taxiing over to the gate.
Stowed until the captain switches off our seatbelt signs. Smoking is not permitted, of course. Dans au convoi de l'avion, veuillez vous assurer d'avoir en votre possession de vos appareils électroniques. Sur l'air de coque.
It's 8:05 p.m. now, and my connecting flight to Toronto is due to leave at 9 p.m. Thanks for watching. Now for some comments on the journey. I'll admit it's a little ridiculous to fly from Montreal to Ottawa, given that the driving time between the two cities is less than 2 hours, and after all the time spent waiting in the airport, especially with the delay, the flight certainly takes longer. That being said, this route primarily exists for people who are making connections up to Ottawa from flights arriving in Montreal, and typically not for people just going from Montreal to Ottawa for a weekend. In terms of the flight in general, I was impressed to see standard onboard service of a limited selection of drinks and a snack for what was only a 21-minute flight. That was probably one of the only highlights, however, as with a 40-minute delay and the cramped and vibrating ride that is the Q400, there wasn't much else to rave about. I guess I'll sum it up by saying that it works in a pinch, and it's a convenient service for travelers coming from an international or even domestic destination that isn't served from Ottawa Airport.